Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today I'll be analyzing the wetness found within the new Spider-Man game. Spider-Man's always been known as the world's greatest detective and the unstoppable, incredible Mr. Spider-Man. But how incredible is the Mr. Spider-Man game? Well, that's the question we aim to answer with the Moist Meter, so brace your asshole because I'm about to put my fat dick of knowledge in it. The best part about Spider-Man game is its combat, hands down. The gameplay here is absolutely fantastic. It's the same type of free-flow combat you're used to seeing in the Arkham series, except I think it's done better in the Spider-Man game. And the web swinging is so fucking satisfying. I only fast traveled 2 times throughout my 20 or so hours with the game. It is just fun going from point A to point B, which is a compliment I can't pay very many games. Oftentimes it's such a fucking chore where, you have to very slowly walk from point A to point B. Maybe you sprint a little bit, but you get winded, and you're always just looking for a fast travel. Here, you look forward to just moving around the city, in a city that feels alive. There's a ton of collectible shit here, although I think the collectible shit's kind of weak. Like, you're looking for backpacks, that's not exactly fun. I don't want to be looking for, like, fucking pencil pouches in my backpack around the city, but there's a lot to do. There's random event crimes that'll pop up that you can take part in, which is nice. Any excuse to get into more combat is always welcomed in this game, and I really can't stress enough just how flashy and fun the combat is. It never really gets boring, although sometimes in situations where you're just faced with mobs and mobs of enemies, it does get pretty tedious. And speaking of tedious, that brings me to a big negative about the game. A lot of the missions, main missions included, feel so trivial and mundane as if a schoolboy could complete them. It doesn't take a superhero to do half the shit Spider-Man does throughout like maybe the first 8 hours of the game. For example, one of the side missions was analyzing water pressure and then unclogging a pipe. That's not fun. I don't need to be a fucking superhero to look at water pressure and then move 2 trash bags from a pipe. That's very boring. Another main mission objective example would be like installing solar panels on an old woman's house or delivering Girl Scout cookies to a specific neighborhood for 20 minutes. It's just really boring activities that you're just bogged down with in the early game, and it really destroys the pacing and fun, in my opinion. It was just such a slog and so miserable to have to be doing such mundane tasks around the city for main missions and for side shit. And I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. Another one was analyzing the air quality. Like, come on, that's not some superhero fun shit. That's like something a normal guy with a normal job would have. I'm not playing Normal Guy Simulator, I'm playing Spider-fucking-Man Simulator. And then when you're not doing boring chores around the city, you're actually doing some superhero action, which is fun, and then that pace, that momentum is immediately killed with a Mary Jane stealth mission or another stealth mission. The stealth missions are just, there's nothing enjoyable about them. There's nothing to be had there. You might as well just go to sleep during the stealth mission. You'd be having more fun. The stealth missions just feel so out of place in this game, and they add almost nothing to it. In rare occasions during a stealth mission, you'll get some pretty interesting exposition, but at the cost of zero enjoyment at all. The stealth missions are definitely the weakest point of the game. I'd prefer the little Boy Scout checklist that you go through in other missions where you just do fucking dumb things around the city. But besides the lackluster missions, the stealth missions, and the boring-ass chores, the game is still a very fun game to play. When there's actual superhero missions where you're actually fighting crime, piecing together a puzzle, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. You have so many gadgets at your disposal that you can mix and match and pull off some fun combos with. You get a lot of really fun suits with some fun suit powers that come with mods. Or, well, they don't come with mods, but you can install mods on them to suit your playstyle. There's a lot of depth here, and I was really surprised by that, and I enjoyed it. And on top of that, the game has a really impressive story to tell. I didn't think this was going to be a dark game. I thought it was just going to be a throwaway, feel-good superhero game. But I was absolutely wrong. It's very well written, and the story, it'll tug on your heartstrings. It is just a good story, and it's not afraid to go dark. It doesn't pull any punches. It's not putting the condom on in some areas here, and it's a welcome change to just a very tried and overdone superhero formula. Another big point about this game that I think is a positive thing is there's a lot of content. Now, like I said, I think a lot of the collectibles and side shit are very weak, but there are some really cool ones in there as well. And just the robustness of it, because you have so much of it, all of it can't be great. I understand that. But it's nice that you have all of these things that you can do around the city if you choose to do them. I respect that, and it really does add a lot to the game because there is a lot of different side shit. You're not always doing the same ones, although they're all pretty mundane. It's still a lot to choose from and a lot to do in the city. Now let's go ahead and plug this shit into the moist meter. I'm giving the new Spider-Man game a 75%. If the missions kept up the way they did at the end of the game, the last, I'd say, 5 or 6 missions at the end of the game were absolutely amazing. They were fucking great. But everything up to that, the 9 hours worth of shitty, cut the birthday cake at little Susie's Sweet 16 or some shit, just dumb fucking chores. If those missions weren't as big as they were throughout the beginning of the game, this would have been a much better game. It's just you spend so much time doing so many boring activities that it takes away from the fun of being a superhero. But then at the end of the game, it really makes up for it, and it gives you a very fun set of missions that feel amazing to play through, with some great settings, some great boss battles, and just a lot of fun to be had. And the combat, again, is the best part of this game. It never really got old and was always a joy to be punching teeth in and fisting assholes of bad guys. So yeah, that's it. See ya.